Hello everyone, I'm back with the next part of our e-commerce grocery app using .NET MAUI. So in our previous video, we were working on the single category page on this page. So we were able to fetch the list of categories on this page, and now in this video we are going to work on this section. So we need to show the list of products for this left section, and in this case fruits products, that means it should list down all the fruits products. And then if we tap on this exotic fruit or seasonal fruit, it should show the list of fruits uh, for this particular category only. So that's what we are going to work on this in this video. Okay, cool. So let's start. First thing, let's make it a bit bigger so that you can see it. Cool. So for this section showing the product list, we already have something which is on our home page, this section. So we can show, we can reuse the same this control. If you remember, when we were building this home page, at that time we created this product list control so that we can reuse it. So now we are going to reuse this. So let's see how we were using this product list control. So we are using this on home page. So let's go to home page, on home page. Okay, and on home page we might be having this. This is the control, product list control, binding popular products, this section. And category products page, we have grid, collection view. This is the first section, this is the second section. Cool. Inside this we'll have that add to cart functionality the same way we have on the home page, right? If we tap on this, it shows this section, this floating action button for our cart. So we need to add this as well on our category products page. So let's use both. So for this, if you go to home page, we have this cart control. Outside of the scroll view, we have this here. So let's get both of these. First, let me copy this control and we are going to add this here. Then second thing, this cart control, let's copy this, and inside this grid, or maybe outside of this grid, let's wrap this complete page in a grid like this grid, and we can have our control here, this cart count outside of this grid. Cool. Okay, now this popular products on this view model. Where is this view model? Category products view model. So we have these products. So instead of this popular products, we are going to have our products, right? Let's see if we have IntelliSense. Yes, products. Then we need to have this this method. Let's go to home page, get this method which is in our code behind. So let's copy this, go to category products page, add this here, and this needs, this view model is home view model. So we need to define, oh, we already defined these methods here. So I'm making this part after a very long time, so I don't actually remember completely, but let's check our view model, category products view model. So I think we have already defined these methods there, these events, right? Add to cart, remove from cart. Okay, we have already defined these. Cool. Apart from that, we need, now we added this method, right? Fine. Apart from this, we need this cart count. So looks like this is also already added. So if you go to our category products view model, cart count, we have this cart count. So we might be having, okay, everything is in place already. Great. So save everything. Cool. Let's try it out. Let's go to categories. This is taking time, right? We need to fix this as well. We are on products page and nothing is loading. And why so? Let me, okay. Okay, it loaded the products. That might be because we are not indicating the user, right? We should have that, at least that activity indicator on this page. Okay, so first let's add activity indicator, but because that would make sense. So we have is busy flag here. When we are initializing is busy is true, is busy is false. That means we can use is busy directly in our page. So this is our page. So for this, what we can do after everything, we can have an activity indicator with vertical options at center, horizontal options at center, and let's say height request of somewhere 30, width request 30, and it's running. We are going to bind it with our is busy flag like this, and we can set the color as well. Color static resource, our main color which is made. Save everything, and yeah, so right now I saved and this XAML got formatted automatically. So I am using one uh, extension, Visual Studio extension, if you want to check out. So for this XAML formatting, I am using installed all this XAML styler for Visual Studio. XAML styler for Visual Studio. I have installed this. I am using this. So now it formats the complete XAML. When we save it, you can modify the settings from the settings, but with default setting, everything works fine. Cool. So I saved it. If I go here, go back, and let's open another one. Right now we cannot see anything. Maybe let's stop everything and run. API is already running. Okay, app is here. Let's go to categories. Not categories, this vegetable category. I clicked on it, right? Category, yes. Okay, so we need to fix this thing, this slowness. Okay, let's see how can we fix this. And then we need to work on these sections, right? Right now did we added something for this? If I go to the first categories, image, no, we don't have anything. We need to work on this as well. But first of all, let's try to fix this speed issue. So what we can do, I don't know. Let's check in our category page. We are using view model initialize async. If we go here inside initialize async, we simply clearing the categories and clearing the products and fine. So from this page, we are not going to add or remove products to this list, right? We will simply replace all the products whenever we are changing the category from this left section. So for this observable collection does not make sense. The problem with observable collection is right now when we do this, if we have let's say 15 products or let's say 50 products, and if we are loading, we are not using paging right now. So even if we have used paging, even if we have added 10 products, so for these 10 No, with paging it would not make sense, but right now we are not using paging. If we are adding the products like this, so it will raise this collection changed event again and again, and we are not doing anything for this, so it does not make sense. We just need to do this. We'll simply change these collections to simple enumerable, enumerable of category like this, and let's say underscore categories. The default value of enumerable dot empty category like this, and then we'll add observable property on it. And now we'll remove these categories. And then similarly, we are going to modify this one. So we'll say enumerable of product DTO, product DTO, and this is going to be products field with the default value of enumerable dot empty product DTO like this. And on this as well, we are going to add observable property, and then we'll simply comment out this. Now let's modify other parts as well. So we were clearing the category, then we were using this thing. So right now what we'll do, now we cannot clear, we have enumerable collection, then we have observable property which will be triggered only when this collection directly gets assigned to a new value. What that means is, now what we will do, we will get the category. So we'll say var categories equals this thing. Let me move it to the bottom. Fine. Now we have this category. We will assign this categories property to this categories. Now this assignment, it will trigger this observable property. It will trigger iNotify property changed, and our UI is going to reflect this change. And same thing we are going to do with these products. Okay, so here we'll say var products equals like this, and then we'll modify the products collection directly like this. Now we can comment all of this like this. Now these two calls are independent, so instead of getting these synchronous, we can let them run independent of each other. So what we'll do, we will simply remove the await from the first one, and we'll rename this to category task. Then we'll trigger these products, or let's call it products task like this, or maybe this time let's have it products only. So products, and on these categories we will assign await categories task like this. Let's do this, assign these products directly like this, or maybe let's do it like this only, await. Cool. So now we have this data. On the UI side, we don't need to change anything because observable collection is also a collection, and this enumerable is also a collection. So we should be good with this one. Okay. Let's okay. Let's try it out now. Save everything. Stop. And now our API is going to be stopped. So let's run the API first. Debug, start without debugging, API is running. Now let's run the app. Maybe we should modify this observable collection logic in all other screens as well, right? So now we are on vegetables. It is still taking time. We got the data already. Yes, it automatically dumps. So for this, I could not find any other solution, but what works in such cases when we are initializing it, right? So after setting the space busy to true, what we can say, we can have an artificial delay of, let's say, maybe 100, so that it goes back to the UI. So let's stop it and save and run. Okay, app is coming. We'll clean all this commented code up after some times. Now tapped on vegetables. It still takes time. Okay, so do let me know in the comment if you know why it is taking this much of time. Right? Maybe we need to fix something else as well. By right now, I cannot think of any other thing. But let's see if you guys know something, or maybe you face this same issue or no. Cool. Now from here we can see these things, but this looks a bit odd if the item goes greater than, okay. So it looks a bit odd because it has smaller screen space than the home page, right? Because we have this left category section here. So let's do one thing. First, let's try to minimize this left section and then have some dynamic logic on this right product section, so that we can say that let's use the compact view, something like this, right? So for this, what we'll do, let me stop this, go to the cart control, product list control, and here let's introduce one more property. Let's introduce one more property, and here we'll say public bool is maybe small. Now let's create a bindable property here. So public static bindable property, and we'll say is small property, and here we'll say bindable property dot create name of the property, which is name of is small, then declaring type, which is this type. So type of products list control, like this. Okay, what's the issue? I missed read only. Read only after this. Okay, no, before, after name, we need to have return type. And return type is going to be Boolean. So type of bool, declaring type is this. Then comes default value, which will be false. Cool. Now we can use this small property here. For is small, we'll say for getter, we'll say get value from this is a small property, and for setter we'll say set value and its small property value, like this. And now we are good. Now we need to use this is small property. Let's go to our XAML and let's see how we can fix this. So data template grid, and for the card buttons, height request, width request. width is 60, height is 30, right? So for this, what about font size? Card BTN. Add to cart button is fine. We need to fix this card button. We have font size, height request, and width request. Cool. We need to modify these three things. Okay. There could be multiple ways to set these dynamically. Let's try something. I have never tried it. First thing, put this add to cart. This is fine. We don't need to change anything in this. Now let's create one more style. Target type is going to be button, and I move this here. Now instead of using key, let's use class. The benefit of using classes over key is we can combine multiple classes, but there could be only single key with the styles. So what I mean is, let me show you. So what we'll do on this button, let's add class, and this will say default card btn. Okay, and then let me copy it, and we'll say small card btn. And here we'll say font size instead of 20, let's make it 16. Height request instead of 30, let's make it maybe, what was it? It was 30. So let's make it 25. And this width, let's make it 30. Okay, this is default, this is small. And from this also we will remove this cart. Instead we'll say class. So now we have class card btn, class default card btn, then here we have small card btn. Cool. Now if we go here, hmm, this style. So instead of using this style, now what we can say style class, and this style class is actually a list of string. So we can pass multiple values to this. It should have implicit converter for the list string type converter type. Okay. So here what we can do, we can assign those using comma. So we'll say card btn comma the, where is it, default card btn. Card btn comma default card btn, and then we'll simply remove this one. Same thing we'll do for the second one. So we'll remove this style and add this thing. Right now this should work as expected. First let's see if it is working, then we'll try to make it dynamic. Okay, app is here, categories, roads. Okay, we can see something. The time it takes to go there, this time. Maybe we can increase that time, or we can try removing the animation right now. I don't know, maybe. So this thing is fine. This is okay. That means design is working. That uh, this style class, this is working. Now we need to think of a way. How can we make it dynamic? I have never tried it, so let's try it together. Stop, minimize, and this is inside the can we use some reference for this? Let's try. We'll go to its code behind, and let's have one more property here. So we'll say prop, and we'll use the same approach, ilist of string, and we'll say card btn styles like this. Mhm. Okay. And then we'll have a default value with this current value, which is cart btn and default cart item. So we'll say new list of string with two values. First one cart btn and the second one default cart are the order methods for these style classes. So the later the class, it will override the first one. So if we have some property defined in cart btn and the same property with different value in default cart btn, then in this case default cart btn is going to override the value from cart btn. So let's say if we have font size 12 in this and then we have font size 15 in this, so 15 will be applied. Okay, now what we need to do, whenever this is small property is changing, then we need to modify this value. So for this, what we can do, on this bindable property, after this false, we can have property changed handler, right? So we can try this property changed, and the type of this is going to be bindable property changed delegate. And what it is, let's check. Bindable property change delegate, if we go to its definition, type void, it returns void, and the signature is this. So here let's create a method. So we'll say private static void on age small changed, like this, like this. Now let's see. So here we'll say if bindable is this current type, which is product list control. This is how we can get access to this list control. So we'll say control, and now we will check if old value is not equals new value, then only we will check the new value if boolean of new value is true. Now we know that we have set this property to true. So if we are setting this property to true, we need to modify this thing. So here we'll say control dot, and we should be able to access card button styles equals, we'll copy this thing, and instead of default card btn we will use, what was its name, uh, small card btn. So we'll say small card btn like this. And now we can maybe add both of these condition in single if, like this. Okay, let's try it out, edit if it works. But before that, let's use this value, card button styles. Uh, from the main card btn, we need to remove these three. Okay. Now let's check if we can assign this thing directly. Is this bindable property? And looks like it is not. It is not a bindable property. So what we can try, let's try x reference this. Mhm. Let's try. X times this. Can we access something from here like this? Not here. Let me try. How can we access this? I'm trying to access this. Here, let's call this method, which is on is small changed like this. Save, and after that, let's call it. Let's add this property. Use this property on our category products page. We have this control, and on this control, after setting products, let's say it's small equals true. Save everything, run. On home, everything looks fine and not fine. No, this is very big. That means that style did not get applied. Then there is no point of going to this section. Do let me in the comment if you guys know how we can do this, and till the time I will also try to find a way. We can't have binding directly, right? One way which I can think of right now is, I don't know, this is a very lengthy way, or what we can say. Let's go to product list here. Cardboard styles. Okay. So what I can try to copy paste this section 2 times, and one will be visible if that is small it's true, and another will be visible if that is small is false. That's all what I can think of right now. So do let me know in the comment if you guys know some other way, or maybe you can think of something else which can work in this case. Then we'll follow that approach. Right now, let's do this. So we will stop it first, and on the its code behind, we don't need this thing, and we don't need this thing, and then we can remove this property changed, we are not using it. And then is a small property, we can directly use this. And here let's copy this grid, or maybe before that I have that condition. So here we'll say is visible, and then we'll use the binding the same way. Copy everything, paste it, and the path is going to be our is small property, right? It's small like this. So we will when we are using is small, we will use one more property which will be opposite of is small. So here we can say bool, and we'll say is large, or let's call it is default. Okay, now whenever this is small property is changing, we need to notify change for this is default as well. So for this, what we can do now, again we need to add that Property changed on small on is small property changed. Okay, now let's reopen this, and on is small. This is property changed, and from here we can notify changes for can we have this control dot on property changed or something? Yes, we have on property changed, and the property name we need is the name of product list control dot is default, like this. Cool. So let's use both of these properties. Save everything. Small and is default. So for first one to visible, we'll say this should be is default, and then these styles, these should be card BTN and default card BTN. Let me copy this, paste for the next button. Cool. Now let's copy this complete grid, paste it one more time, and this time save everything, stop. And this time what we'll do, and inside this border we cannot have two items, although one is going to be rendered. Let's have a vertical stack layout to group these, and then for the second one, for is visible, we will use is small, and at that time we'll modify the second style class, which should be small card btn, like this. And when we are working on this section, let's uh, use a different font size for this label as well. So we'll say font size 13. Save everything. API is stopped. Let's run the API. API debug, start without debugging, and run the app. Okay, there is some issue. On is small property changed. On is small property changed. What is the name? On is small property changed. It is fine. So on is small property changed. This is same. What was it? Okay, run. API is running fine. Yes. Let's see if it helps. Okay, app is loading, fetching data, and this is very bad. Something is not right. Let's go to categories, some category. Okay, this time it is showing the actual behavior. And great. That means that thing is working. We might have misspelled something for the default case. So if we check, I have default cart btn, right? And default cart btn. This is fine. It should work. Default cart btn, default cart btn, default cart btn. And the first one is cart btn, right? The first one is cart btn. Yes. What's the issue then? Did we miss something? Okay, let's check card BTN, default card BTN, text. Everything looks fine. Let's do one thing. To check, let's modify this double minus, double plus, so that we can be sure that this is coming from this first one only. Oh, if we modified that, this is not dynamic. We don't want it to be dynamic. Let me stop and rerun this. Save, run. Okay, maybe because of the first default case. Default is false and small is false in that first case. Is that it? Looks like yes. So what I mean is it should be default value true. Stop and run. So maybe what is happening when it is coming here is default is false and is small is also false. So both of these are false, and in that case both of these grids, both of these are hidden, and that thing which we were seeing, this that must be coming from this default border with stroke thickness 1 and this thing. Yeah, let's now, I don't think we need these double things. It should work. Okay, let's see. And cool, it is working fine. Let's go to categories, open some category, roads. This is very annoying. There should be something. If you guys are watching till now, do let me know in the comment if you know something for this performance issue. But I think API is not taking that much of time. We have this the response immediately. Whatever it is happening, it is happening on this UI side only. Okay. Now if we try this and it is very bad again. We can see these two things. Why two? Why two? Why two? Oh, oh my God. Do let me know in the comment if you guys uh, know why we are seeing these two things here, and if you guys were able to figure out the issue or no. I just got to know. So the problem here is we are setting this is default to true and we are not modifying its value. So it will always be true, which is not correct. So here we need to make it dynamic, and it should be opposite of is small, like this. Okay, so now first time is small will be false, so this is default is going to be true by default, and whenever the value for this is small is changing, it will be here. So now so it does not matter if this is true or false. We will simply check if the value has changed. Let's trigger the raise change for this is default property. So if the value was first true then false, then also it should raise property change for is default and for the opposite as well. Save everything and rerun. We'll have this API here and we'll see if API is taking time. Okay, it is coming, fetching data. We already have data. For this default case, this is fine. Go to categories, And let's go to fruits. And cool, API data was instant, but this takes time. This is not good. We need to fix this for sure. Okay, we have it. And great. Cool, it is working. And we can see the smaller buttons here. And if you go to home page, we can see the large buttons, right? 5, go to categories, and it again stopped. Loading, and then it will take that much of time, then it will load this. Okay, I'll try to optimize this or maybe try to find a way offline, but you guys, I would uh, ask you guys also try something so that we can implement that and we can make it performant. Okay, it is taking time. So it did not take that much of time for other category. Maybe because the number of products, okay, it might be because although we are using IEnumerable list now, but the list DTU, if we go here, this uh, product DTU, this is an observable object where we can have these modifiable things, right? So maybe in this case also it is triggering the events for all these. Maybe this could be the reason, but what is the solution? I don't know right now. Cool. So looks like this thing is working. We can load the items for categories. Let's use some small category, dairy products, or maybe egg and meats, right? That is the smallest category, I think. Okay, milk curd, yogurt, go back, and eggs and milk, right? This one. This should be the smallest category, I guess. Mhm. Okay, let's go to. No, it also has so many items. Okay. Now what we will do next, whenever we tap on any of these subcategory from the left section, it should load the products for that particular subcategory only, not for all. So this thing we'll do in our next video, and I'll try to make that video as soon as possible. But till then, bye bye.